How much would you be willing to sacrifice for money? Find out today in this show of extreme greed and twisted morality. Prepare to laugh, cry, and most of all, wonder how anyone could go to such lengths in their pursuit of wealth. Today, we bring you the case of a man who made a deadly choice in pursuit of an easy fortune. From throwing his own family into the ocean to scam insurance to beating and threatening his ex-wife, this man showed just how far greed can go. Ready to dive into this twisted story? Here we go. With all of you, the extreme case of Ali El-Mazayan, the man who murdered his 2 autistic sons to collect on the insurance policy. In a sunny corner of California, specifically the South Bay, a story unfolds that would make any movie villain shudder with envy. It turns out that a man with such a creative criminal mind has been sentenced to a rather lengthy vacation, 212 years, no less. And I thought life was too short. How deluded. Our protagonist, Ali El-Mazayan, a 46-year-old guy originally from Egypt, and with a legal status more convoluted than a soap opera, showed admirable patience in planning his grandiose plan for 2 whole years. Because who needs to plan a dream trip when you can plan a dream accident? You're probably thinking this story is just like all the others, but let me tell you, the darkness surrounding El-Mazayan makes anyone's hair stand on end. It turns out that between the years 2012 and 2013, our friend Ali went shopping for insurance companies like he was on a Black Friday frenzy, acquiring no less than $7 million in life and accidental death insurance coverages for his family. That's right, 8 different companies welcomed him with open arms. After all, who wouldn't want to insure someone with such a unique sense of creativity? Now, I cannot help but wonder what kind of conversations Ali would have with these insurance companies. Please imagine. "Hi, I'd like to insure my family in case of some tragic accident," Ali would walk in saying, to which the insurance company would reply, "Sure, Mr. El-Mazayan, how much would you be interested in investing?" To which Ali would answer, "Oh, just a modest $7 million. I imagine the employees of these insurance companies scratching their heads, wondering if they should have done some sort of psychological evaluation before accepting Ali as a client." Good old El-Mazayan decided that bankruptcy was not enough for him, so he thought, how about I buy life insurance for my kids? Not 1 or 2, but 8 different policies. There you have a father worried about the future of his little ones. But that's not all, friends. It turns out that Ali, in addition to being an insurance expert, was also a master of disguise. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen. Specifically, he impersonated his ex-wife on several occasions to make sure the policies were in order. How romantic. No, I love you is as potent as impersonating your ex to check if her life insurance is active. Oh, Cupid, true love. However, friends, Ali's creativity does not stop there. Not content with his disguises and phone calls, he also made sure that insurance companies did not investigate claims 2 years after the policies were purchased. No doubt, he was a genius at deception. Who needs a crystal ball when you can simply fool the insurance companies? In 2015, just after the 2-year contestability period expired on one of the policies, he decided to take a drive by the ocean with his ex-wife and children. But wait, this was not a simple family outing. In a psychotic outburst, El-Mazayan revved up his Honda Civic and escaped out the driver's side window as the car was sinking with his ex-wife and kids inside. What a loving father, right? His ex-wife survived thanks to the help of a fisherman, but El-Mazayan's 2 children were not so lucky and drowned. In fact, the most amazing thing about all this is that El-Mazayan did not shed a single tear. I guess when you have over $3 million waiting for you in the bank, tears are simply not necessary. After his great watery escape, El-Mazayan justified himself by saying it was all a tragic accident. Oh sure, who hasn't had an accident where you escape out the window while your family is sinking in the car? As expected, the local authorities did not want to prosecute him, but the feds did realize what a gem they had on their hands and eventually charged him with planning the deaths to collect on the policies. And here comes the icing on the cake. El-Mazayan managed to collect over $260,000 from the life insurance policies he had taken out on his children. Of course, he could not pass up the opportunity to invest some of that money in real estate in Egypt and even buy a boat. What a thoughtful father! I have never seen someone so dedicated to his family before. We first met El-Mazayan in 2010 when he decided that bankruptcy was not enough for his life. He had a much brighter plan in mind, buying expensive insurance policies for his children. Because you know, when you're broke, the obvious solution is to spend more money on insurance. No doubt, a true financial genius. Parents are supposed to protect their children. but instead, El Mazayan decided to lead them straight to certain death in exchange for cash. Christy Johnson exclaimed, deputy director of the FBI in Los Angeles. It seems this guy's logic went astray somewhere between the bankruptcy accountant and the insurance companies. However, the story does not end there. It turns out that El Mazayan was not only a loving father willing to do anything for his children. As we're counting, he was also a businessman. After collecting the over $260,000 in insurance proceeds from the accidental death policies he had taken out for his little ones, what better than buying real estate in Egypt and a boat with all that amount? What better way to enjoy your newfound fortune than sailing down the Nile on your own yacht? Every father's dream. And there's more. After his evil deed, El Mazayan was arrested by the FBI in November 2018. Guess what? Our sugar daddy has been in federal custody ever since. Unfortunately, it seems his plan did not go exactly as he had hoped. At trial, prosecutors did not mince words in describing El Mazayan's actions. He murdered his disabled children and tried to finish off his ex-wife for money, they indignantly declared. This guy really went out of his way to take his evil to the next level. Not only did he abuse his ex-wife and neglect his children, but he also hatched a fraudulent scheme with the insurance companies. To top it off, adding more drama, El Mazayan had no qualms about lying. He lied to law enforcement officials and insurance companies, trying to hide his role in this tragic event. But he also dared to lie in subsequent civil litigation, exaggerating the amount of insurance he had purchased and trying to convince witnesses to lie on his behalf. What a skill at deception. He should win an acting award. Of course, El Mazayan was sentenced to 212 years in prison for carrying out a diabolical and cruel plan. Although he wasn't charged with murder, the judge was not sparing in his criticism of this individual, calling him a ruthless killer who planned the death of his children for profit. Prosecutors highlighted the meticulous planning that El Mazayan carried out to perpetrate his terrible act. According to prosecutor Tracy L. Wilkeson, Mr. El Mazayan devised a cold-blooded plan to murder his autistic children and their mother, and then profit from the insurance policies. What a way to make a living. Special Agent Ryan L. Corner of the IRS stated, "It is unthinkable that a father would endanger the lives of his family for his own financial gain." Indeed, friends, I cannot help but wonder, what happened to the paternal instinct? This guy must have lost it along the way. However, it was not all El Mazayan's doing. Law enforcement agencies such as the FBI and IRS worked tirelessly to unmask this horrible scheme. There was also the help of the Los Angeles Police Department, the Los Angeles Harbor Police, and the Los Angeles City Attorney's Office, a true all-star team. U.S. District Judge John F. Walter did not pull any punches in imposing the maximum penalty allowed by law. Specifically, he called El Mazayan's scheme evil and diabolical, and his crimes vicious and callous. This judge did not pull any punches. But justice is not only in the sentencing, but also in the restitution. El Mazayan was ordered to pay over $260,000 to the insurance companies he defrauded, so the boy would learn that crime does not pay. Ali El Mazayan, the ultimate phony and skilled liar, as Judge Walter described him, turned out to be nothing less than a brutal and greedy murderer. Now, instead of enjoying his ill-gotten money by robbing insurance companies and taking innocent lives, he will spend the rest of his days in a prison cell. How ironic, ladies and gentlemen. I guess that thought never crossed the mind of this intrepid con man. After a saga that tore his family apart and left his other son disowning him in court, it was time for the final judgment. And that's where things got really interesting, my dear friends. In court, the eldest son who managed to escape his father's clutches, El Hussein El Mazayan, blurted out a sentence that left everyone gasping. "I hope you know that I want nothing to do with you anymore. Don't call me. Don't write to me." Boom. Did you hear that? The father got a dose of reality and rejection all over his face. That's what happens when you're a heartless man who throws his kids in the ocean to collect insurance. Sorry, Ali. I don't believe Santa brings you presents perpetually. However, let's go back in time a bit to find out how this tragic story began and why it all happened. Ali El Mazayan and his ex-wife Diab met when they were students in Egypt. It seemed to be a fairy tale romance until they came to the U.S. and things got twistier than a pretzel. They filed for divorce in 2009, but that was not enough to separate them. They both decided to continue living under the same roof and arranged sham marriages to secure their immigration status. Way to keep the flame of love alive, or rather, keeping the flame of madness alive. And as if that wasn't enough, Diab testified in court that El Mazayan abused her, beat her, and even threatened to kill her. How romantic. One can only imagine imagine the passionate evenings they had in their home. Nothing like a good session of domestic violence to stoke up the passion, right? Oh, love, that beautiful feeling that makes you want to throw your loved ones into the ocean to collect the insurance. How sweet. And so, my friends, we come to the denouement of this incredible story full of greed and madness. Who would have thought that someone would be willing to throw his own children into the ocean in order to collect 8 policies? What a way to put money above all else. How about this peculiar story? Do you think money can corrupt people in such an extreme way? Or do you think Ali El-Mazayan was just an isolated case of madness? Leave us your thoughts in the comments. At this point, you still don't know this story of another insurance hunter? I wouldn't miss it.